Hey, I'm Q Paul. Welcome to Lesson 7 in our series. We're going to cover a lot of new information today, so I hope you have a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or a fat crayon, whatever you want to use. We're going to start by introducing you to a new mega verb. You know how excited we get about those. Ready? The verb is poder, and this is the infinitive version. It means to be able to do something. If we want to translate a sentence in English like, I can go to the beach, or I'm able to go to the beach, we're going to use this verb. In order to use this verb today, we're going to have to get into some conjugations, but I'm only going to give you two forms, I and you, and only in the present tense. So I can is yo puedo. You have to sound out all the vowels. You can is tú puedes. Now you may be wondering why I'm not teaching you all of the conjugations like he can, we can, they can. The reason is because I want to make you conversational as quickly as possible. One thing in common with all your conversations is you're involved. That's why we're covering I. You're generally speaking to another person, and that's why we're covering you. Don't worry, we're eventually going to get to those in future lessons, but for the time being, I don't want to bog you down with memorizing a lot of different conjugations. All right, let's move on. Since we're on the topic of you, this is a good time to bring up the fact that there are actually two different forms of you in Spanish. There's a formal and an informal. The formal would be usted, and the informal is tú. It's not really difficult to know which one you should use. If it's someone that you would normally call sir or ma'am in English, then you're going to go ahead and use usted, the formal. If it's a friend or it's a casual relationship or you're saying hi to a neighbor, then tú is fine. In today's video, I'm only going to be focusing on the informal or tú form. And there's a half a dozen reasons why, but they all boil down to this. It's much easier for a beginning student to use this form. I'll explain why in a future video. For the time being, trust me on this. Alright, let's look at our two verb conjugations again. We have yo puedo, I can, and tú puedes, you can. Many beginning Spanish students get intimidated by all the conjugations. That's why we only take a couple at a time. When you compare English and Spanish, verb conjugations are much easier in English. I can, she can, we can, they can. There's absolutely no change in the verb. But Spanish conjugation isn't like that. The verb is going to change based on who the speaker is. Take a look at this. Yo puedo, tú puedes. Puedo and puedes are different. Now don't let that intimidate you. There are advantages to the Spanish structure. One of the big advantages is, especially when we're speaking in the first or second person like we are here, we can leave off the subject. Just leave off yo and tú. The reason we can do this is because the verb conjugation already tells us who the speaker is. You'll start to see how this works as we move through some of the examples. Okay, here's some really simple plug-and-play phrases. All we're going to do is plug in unchanged verbs or infinitives to say I can do something or you can do something. All right, let's take this lesson to the big screen so we can start to work through some examples. Now you should be able to translate this one on your own. I can verify the information. You'll see that you're using your cognate tricks. All of the lessons build on previous lessons. Compare your answer to what's written on the board. You should have something like, yo puedo verificar la información. Now, did you leave off the yo? That's okay too. As I said before, you can leave off the yo and your sentence is still grammatically correct. So if you have, puedo verificar la información, you got it right. The verb poder is most useful when you want to ask a question or ask somebody if you can do something. To make it a question, nothing changes in the structure. Just put an upside-down question mark at the beginning, one at the end, and change your intonation. ¿Puedo verificar la información? Alright, here's a useful one if you're calling the hotel or the airline. Can I confirm the reservation? I hope you were able to recognize that this one was using your cognate tricks too. Remember when you say it to really focus on those vowels. ¿Puedo confirmar la reservación? So what if we wanted to answer that question? What if we wanted to say yes? You can confirm the reservation. What would that look like? Take a look at the answer of the screen. Did you get it right? Remember, you can include the word tú or leave it off. The most important part is that you used puedes and not puedo. This is a super useful plug-and-play phrase that you can use in a wide variety of situations. You're really only limited by your vocabulary. Here's some examples. ¿Puedo estacionarme aquí? Can I park here? ¿Puedo sentarme aquí? Can I sit here or can I sit down here? ¿Puedo nadar aquí? Can I swim here? Alright, I think that was a little too easy for you, so we're going to up the bar a little. Don't worry, remember you can watch the video as many times as you want. What I'm looking to do is boost your vocabulary a little and give you another plug-and-play phrase. Your plug-and-play phrase is, ¿Me puedes blank? You're asking if someone can do something for you. Now, if you're a beginning Spanish student, you're probably wondering why the me is in front of puedes. You're like, that's not like English. When it comes to word order, there's a lot of differences between the languages. That's why I teach beginning students and even intermediate students plug-and-play phrases like this. All you have to do is plug in the unchanged verb and it's correct. Now for our examples, I'm going to go ahead and give you some other verbs that aren't cognates. Yeah, you got to learn new things from time to time. So these ones are pretty useful. Dar, to give. Traer, to bring. Decir is to say or to tell. And ayudar, which is to help. Alright, here's an example using our new plug-and-play phrase. All we have to do is drop in the unchanged verb, that's also called the infinitive, and can you help me becomes ¿Me puedes ayudar? Now you can make this sound more polite by just adding the word please, which is por favor. So you can say ¿Me puedes ayudar por favor? Here's an example utilizing the new verb we just taught you, traer, which means to bring. ¿Me puedes traer más café, por favor? Can you bring me more coffee, please? This one utilizes the new verb dar, which means to give, and we also stuck a cognate trick in there. Can you give me the information, please? ¿Me puedes dar la información, por favor? Now, in a sentence like this, you could easily leave out me. You could say, ¿Puedes confirmar la información, por favor? Would be, can you confirm the information, please? By adding the me, you're asking them, can you confirm the information for me, please? Alright, before we move to our next example, I want to give you a little reminder of what you should have learned in the last lesson. ¿Dónde está? Where is blank? Okay, our goal is to always keep getting better and better. So instead of just asking where the bathroom is, let's incorporate the last lesson with this one and make a more complex sentence like, can you tell me where the bathroom is? This is going to use that new verb I just taught you, decir. I know that looks like a really long, intimidating sentence, but the key here is to break it down piece by piece. Let's start with the beginning. Can you tell me? ¿Me puedes decir? And now we just plug in the rest. ¿Me puedes decir dónde está el baño? All we have to do is tweak our plug-and-play phrase a little bit to make sentences where you can say what you can do for someone else or ask if you can do something for someone else. For example, can I give you gifts? ¿Te puedo dar regalos? Well, that's it for today. I encourage you to go and make some of your own sentences utilizing the plug-and-play phrases that we covered. Remember, you can look up any verb and just plug it in. Hasta luego.